Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast. This podcast will break down what real change is and how we think is instrumental to that change. In a society that often looks sideways at individuals telling us how to think, we will reveal and expose a barrage of thought manipulations and mind programming being imposed upon us unaware daily. Each week, we'll explore the awareness, strategies, tools, and mindsets needed to recognize, survive, and thrive amidst change. We'll feature insightful interviews and conversations with knowledgeable individuals and share inspiring stories of average people who have navigated their journeys of transformation and sharing their hard-won wisdom and practical advice. Whether you're seeking a shift in career, relationships, or personal well-being, this podcast is your guide to unlocking your full potential and embracing the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. Join us as we embark on this transformative journey together. Here's our host, OMARI JAHI.
All right, what's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Transformation Institute podcast for change. I'm your host, OMARI JAHI, and we thank you for being on today. Last week we had a very interesting show. I brought a guest on. Well, just for clarity's sake, there was a guy. I took a class. I put it like that, and the guy that the instructor of the class was supposed to be the one that came on last week, but he sent one of his students, and the guy wasn't very informative and very communicative about the process. But nevertheless, we're going to embark on just having a discussion today about unresolved emotional pain. First, I want to introduce my co-host. I have three co-hosts. First, Miss, put your hands together and welcome to the podcast, Miss Brenda Robinson. Put your hands together.
Hi, hey.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm the only one here.
Yeah, I see. The other people seem like they might be kind of late or something like that, but I mean that's cool. We're gonna roll with it, and then if they come on, we'll bring them on or whatever, And
but, if they don't, I guess we'll have some emotional pain over it. I guess I don't
know. we'll have a conversation on being emotional and being in pain. I guess I don't know, but so I know last week I brought the guy on. I can't even Nano. I can't even remember.
Yeah, I think so.
But the guy didn't really know that much about what he was talking about. But unresolved. Now I'm gonna tell you why I was so gung ho about this topic and bringing that guy on. It's because I believe that there are a lot of people. I mean, if I was to give it a percentage, I would probably say 90% of the people on the planet Earth are experiencing emotional or unresolved emotional trauma and pain.
Okay.
Because when we go through stuff, I mean, when you're in a car accident, it's already traumatic, but but we're not. I don't think we are aware that trauma carries over with us throughout our life. I even found out that my mother, when she was a young woman, I don't know if she's a teenager or a young adult, but she got bit by a dog. And do you know that I had a fear of dogs for a long time, but I didn't know why. I never got bit by a dog, anything, but the dog don't even have to bark at me or nothing. I was terrified, just a dog walking down the street. So I'm believing that was carried over, you know what I'm saying, from my mother to me.
Oh, so you think that the emotional pain can transcend like that too?
Yes. To your children, especially if you're experiencing it while you're pregnant. A pregnant mother experiencing trauma or something like that. I believe that is carried over. What do you think? Tell me some of your thoughts on this.
I don't know. I mean, was your mother pregnant with you when she got bit or no?
I don't think so. No, she was a young adult. I think she was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure unless even if did she talk about it? Did you know that as a child that she had gotten bit by a dog?
No, I didn't find out, and my brother told me.
Okay,
You know,
so
my
yeah,
uncle
I'm
told me,
not sure.
and he told me because I was telling him we were talking, and I was talking to him about how I had this fear for dogs, but I overcame it because I kept forcing myself, not
Okay,
to run, and the more I did it over and over, the first time I was terrified,
okay,
and I believe that's a part of the cure. I'm thinking this is in my head that
okay,
once you face something. The first time you face it, it's going to be almost like traumatic, super traumatic, but the more you face it over and over again, and I think this is what therapy is about,
okay.
you
I
know,
was just thinking that. I was just
yeah,
thinking that.
the more you talk about it and react a thing that terrifies you or traumatize you in some way, the more it loses the force that it has on your life,
Okay,
you know.
okay. Yeah, because
So,
I think a lot of people don't talk about their pain. But when we talk about emotional, when we say the word emotional, this is just my opinion. I don't think that men. Uh, I think they feel like the word emotional is for ladies. Like men. I don't. It's just me. This is nothing I've ever read or anything, but it doesn't
mhm.
seem to me like men. They always say women are emotional, like men not emotional. We know
Right.
that there are some emotional men, but overall, really, men kind of have a macho, I'm a man kind of thing. Emotional is not. I mean, if now women would say they would love to see a man cry. Sometimes, they might want to see a man cry, like they'll show some that he has some, but let him
Some
cry a whole
emotion.
lot. Let him cry a whole lot.
No, yeah, then they're like, you wussy.
Right. So when we say emotional pain, that just means different from different emotions, right? That's not like crybaby pain, like we are always crying from it. That's just something. I mean, can you kind of explain or define the emotional pain? Can you give me an example?
Okay. It's like someone calls you on the phone. No, I'll give you different. Oh no, I don't want to use that one.
See, the man can't find no emotional pain.
No, I can. But the example I was going to use was too close to you. That's why
Okay. All
I
right.
don't want to use that example because I know certain things about what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I want to use that one. But let's say you have a dog that you grew up with.
Okay.
And every day you walk the dog, this, that, and another. The dog, some kind of way, got off the leash and ran into the street and got hit by a car and died.
Wow. Did you not know that that's real close to me recently?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, my daughter was taking her sister's dog to the vet, no, to get cleaned. The dog jumped out the car while they were at a stoplight and got hit by a car and died. So yeah. we so in sync that you know that already. Yeah.
There's no way I could know that.
Okay, so then I'm getting it because I went over there when I got over to the house and her husband told me that that had just happened and she was in the house when I got in there. Oh yeah, she was a wreck.
She was a wreck, right?
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
Over time, she's gonna learn how to live with those feelings and pretend like everything is okay. You see what I'm saying? But it really ain't. She still, if she see a dog that looks like that, all that stuff come back. It's like we was talking about being triggered.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then she'll all of a sudden break into a depression and won't nobody know. You know, you'll be able to tell she's depressed. But and then somebody will ask her, you okay? Are you all right? And like, what's the normal response? I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
But they be lying, you know, because nobody wants to deal with that. You know, and that's I believe that's part of the challenges that we're having in our families and our communities, is that we don't want to deal with that emotional pain. Having a discussion about it, how it makes you feel and things of that nature.
Okay.
You know, we don't want to do that, and that's why we're constantly compounding emotional pain on top of emotional pain. You know,
because we're not dealing with it.
Yes, you have okay. Let's say the dog died, right? The next week, you get a letter in the mail. Your grandfather in down south passed, and he was a close. You guys were close. The two of them were close, right? Mm-hmm. And so now there's some more pain piled on top of it. You know.
Yeah.
You and find out they're laying everybody off. Yeah. You know. So you don't know how you're gonna go from you first you was living paycheck to paycheck. Now you living no check to no check. You know? And so now you pile that on top of that. You see what I'm saying? And we walking around with all that, and at some point when you explode, you know what I'm saying? Either they're gonna put you in a psychiatric hospital, say you're crazy, and put you on some medication, because that's all they do. You know, put you on some kind of medication, saying that you're emotional. Or somebody put a comment in. Let's see what this. Oh, this is hey, man.
Well, we got one follower that we know is a ride or die. We got a ride or die.
Well, it's three people. Can you see this up here at the top?
No.
You don't see nothing? Oh,
nope.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, I can see how many people watching us.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we're talking about emotional, unresolved emotional pain, are we talking to give some, suggestions, or can we even give suggestions if we're people who have some unresolved emotional pain?
The best people, I think, well, this is just my personal thought. The best, it is Vanessa. She finally made it. Hey, Ness. We're live.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hey, we can't hear you. You muted.
She cute though. Look at her.
I'm sorry. You know what? All this time, I thought I was in the studio in the background. Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you dealing with Are you dealing with unresolved emotional pain?
Girl, I'm dealing with emotional pain at the moment.
But when you came on, Vanessa, Brenda had asked me, are people? Because I was saying that I believe that like 90% of people are experiencing this unresolved emotional pain or emotional trauma, which is basically the same thing. Would a person that's experiencing emotional pain, would they be the best person to help somebody else that has emotional pain? I think that was like your question.
Yeah.
Brenda?
Yeah,
right.
we're on here. If we have our own unresolved pain, can we give others who's listening? Can we give them any help? Can we give anything we say? Can it help them?
I think people that realize, I think this is the key thing to this. Once you can recognize, it's almost like a drug addict or alcoholic. When they can accept that they are an alcoholic and they are a drug addict, then they can begin to get help. You know, because I realize I have a problem, right? So a person that knows that they have emotional trauma or pain that they've experienced, and like we were talking about, it's been compounded, and it's all just building up, and all we do is just suppress it and suppress it and suppress it. And then I think before you came over, Vanessa, we were talking about a person that their childhood dog that grew up with them.
I heard it.
How that emotional.
Oh, she said she heard that. Okay.
Oh, she did hear it?
Yeah, I was on the live.
She was in the back room.
I was in the background. I didn't realize I hadn't entered the studio.
Oh, okay, got you. Go ahead.
So in answer to your question, I actually do believe that someone who is going through something could possibly help someone else. And it's almost kind of like, you hear the saying, help me, help you. Because now I'm telling you what I'm going through and listening to what you're going through, we're kind of helping each other because one, we're a listening ear for one another. Two, I may be able to see something about your situation that you don't, and vice versa. So, you're feeding into me and I'm feeding into you as well. Okay. And if you can talk to someone who has all that experience about something, then that makes it even better. And it's almost like, I think you were saying, Tyrone, about like a crackhead or whatever.
Yeah, a drug addict or alcoholic, yeah.
Right. So a drug addict most definitely could help another one. And if you ever see people who go to drug counseling, they usually are helped by ex-drug addicts.
Yes.
And it's because I know what you're going through. I've been here. I've been on this roller coaster. I know what you're about to go through. I know where you've been. I know I can help, make you feel like the future will be positive because I can tell you, look, this is my story. This is where I was, where I was. This is where I am now. This is where I hope to be. So sometimes we learn from others. So sometimes when people are saying, you can't help me, you're no better than I am. Sometimes that's the wrong attitude because yes, I can. I know that I was in a mess. So therefore I can see your mess and I can help you get out that mess and maybe we can keep falling into the mess again together.
Yeah, again, I agree 100%. The thing is the how. And I think Brenda was kind of asking that too. How can we help one another with this? Welcome, William.
Hi, Will.
Hi, Will. Is he stuck?
Look like he's stuck. Yeah. Oh, you muted, Will. You muted. Let me see if I can unmute you.
Another going with unresolved emotional pain.
No,
all this pain on this podcast.
Let's see. Did he unmute? Yeah, there you go, Will. Say something.
Oh,
wow.
Lord.
The devil is always busy.
Hey. Okay, so I guess we can continue. So some of those people, though, like say the drug addict, they can help people, but do you know that sometimes, do you believe that sometimes they fall back too? They go back,
Of course. Yeah. I think failure is a part of success. And this is just my belief because I kind of study stuff like this. Because we've been led to believe that everything is just a straight line. Everything is straight, and if you're trying to do something, there's a point where you start at, and then there's a point where you're in the middle of it, and there's a point that you're in, but it's all straight, but I believe that there's ups and downs in life.
Right. Yeah.
And so, at some point you're going to be pretty cool. You're going to be up and everything, I'm not saying that everybody's bipolar or anything like that, because I understand that is too. But, you're going to be up, and then you're going to be down. Things going to be going well for you, then things aren't going to be going well for you. The thing is how do we respond in both situations? When things are going good, how are you? What is your personality like? Are you arrogant and boisterous? You know, oh, I got my PPP, you know, and I got my check, and shoot, I just bought a car, and I did all that, and then when everything ain't happening like it's supposed to be happening, or you want it to be happening, you know, then you might discover that wait a minute, what is that? Oh, that's just mine. Then you might discover that you're not so public now. You know, first you were so boisterous and out there. Let's say you're on social media posting all your stuff, you sitting up there with all that money and everything, you showing it all on social media. Then all of a sudden the money gone, the PPP, all that stuff is gone now, and no social media posts. You know, because you're depressed now, or maybe you'll be on social media. You say stuff like, "Y'all pray for me because I don't know what happened to God, but God just ain't with me no more." You know, and stuff like that. You know, I think we should be feeling blessed. We should feel blessed regardless of what we have or what we're going through, because the ups and downs is only making us stronger, you know, for the duration of life. So I think that a person that's a drug addict and that they slip, because I think I told you guys I used to be a drug addict, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know y'all believe it, but I did, and I was one for like 15 years.
Wow.
You know? And I went into drug rehab and stuff like that, you know, a 6-month bid and this, that, and another, and come out. And I was cool for a moment. But then, because the real challenge we never address, they don't address this stuff in drug rehabilitation. When you go into AA and NA, they have you talk, they make you to talk about your problem. You know, you've seen it on TV. They sit in a circle and everything and say, "Hey, I'm Tyrone. I'm a drug addict. Hey, Tyrone." And then you're supposed to tell your story, right? Well, there are a lot of people that don't tell their story. You know, you've seen them. They be like, "I'm cool. No, I'm just gonna listen." You know, and because they listen and then they get out because they've been clean for a couple of months, they think they okay. But then when they get out, because they didn't talk about it, and I believe that process of talking about it, feeling the pain, what made you want to get high and talking about it, all that is part of the solution. It's the thing that cures you, the dealing with it, the talking about it, you know. So
that goes back to like last week with therapy, right? I mean, that for those at NA or whatever, AA, though they're in a group, that's like a group therapy, right? Kind of, exactly. I mean, and so they're talking about it. So can a person say that when we talk, when we get off of here, we chat a little bit and we kind of say things to each other and support each other? Can we then think that we don't need like professional therapy because we talk to our friends?
Well, to be honest with you, to me, professional therapy is not what it was created for. Just like the medical profession, it's not what it was created for. I believe both of those professions were created to help people. And I believe now it has morphed into institutions that in the name of helping people, drain people's bank accounts. You know, it's all about money. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no money, if you ain't got no insurance, this, that, and another, I can't help you. You know. No. So I think what I'm in my mind seeing and thinking about is a method by which we can help each other and F them, you know, going to them. If the solution is getting people to talk about the trauma enough to where the trauma is not trauma anymore, then we've got to find a way to get people to talk, you know.
Mm.
So I think that's the solution. And that's what the auditing thing was about that I was trying to bring this guy on to talk about last week. And you remember he said something about you got a role that you got to play. As far as the person that's being audited, he said there's a role that you have to play. You have to be able to go back and remember what happened and recant it and talk about it step by step. You know, even though it might be painful and hurtful, that's your part in this. And my part as the auditor or the counselor or whatever you want to call it, my role in it is to make sure you stay on task. Because at some point you're going to get emotional and you're going to want to quit. You're going to say, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And it's my job to say, no, we got to get through this. Start at the beginning. Let's say it again. Tell me again what happened. And this is what the part of I would say the auditing or counseling is about. You don't have to have a license to get people to tell you their problem and what they went through. You don't need a license to do that. It's just a conversation. Go ahead, Brenda. You want to say something?
Yeah, but okay. So I think we're raised, or we're conditioned to think that if I come to you with my unresolved emotional pain, I'm looking for you to do more than make me talk to you. I mean, I know that you can't perform miracles. I'm not, and I'm not talking about you per se, but I know that nobody can really perform miracles. We talked a little last week about God being our source or our help, in the troubling times, which I mean, I believe in, but I do also know that he's not coming in our faces and stuff, literally, and he can use people to help with your unresolved things. But I think most people are looking for somebody to give some kind of answer. Like even addicts, when they come, they want somebody to help them, when they're really ready to come, when they're at their wits end, when they done spent all their money and they down and they don't have anything, they got to go back home to wives where they ain't got the money, or gamblers or whatever, right? And when they come in, they're looking for you to give them something that will help them right now to be able to go back home. So I don't know if that'll ever be anything like that, or then again, it could be that somebody could just say one right thing and help heal somebody. I believe that too. I believe somebody could tell a story and somebody get something from that story. Because some addicts come and stop right away. I just spoke to a young man who my aunt passed this week on Tuesday. This young man came from Vegas. He knew her sons when he was little. He lived in Vegas for over 25 years. He came to visit her, saw her. My aunt passed on Tuesday. His mom passed Tuesday night.
Oh, wow.
So he called me and he said, he heard about her and he said, we're going to get through this. But when he left, my aunt's, he visited her at the hospital. When he left, he told me today that he stopped smoking cigarettes just like that. When he went back to Vegas, he said he didn't smoke another cigarette since. His mom had some form of lung cancer, I think. My aunt had COPD. So some things can, help people right away.
It's almost like a reverse trigger or something. You know what I'm saying? Something like what you were saying.
Yeah.
That the guy, because of what your aunt and his mother experienced and died from, he was like, I got to stop.
Right. And he's 60 years old, 60-some years old, and he's been smoking all these years.
Yeah.
He said he stopped cold turkey. Cold turkey.
Vanessa, what's your thoughts?
I just wanted to touch on a couple of things you said, Omari. One, the whole thing with the counselors needing to possibly be licensed and everything, and everyone doesn't want to see licensed counselors or something. Nowadays, they've made it so much easier because now you have people that go into life coaching. You don't have to really have a license for that. You can have a certificate, be certified or whatever in it. So the life coaching thing is one way. Sometimes you just find support groups where you're talking amongst each other, and it may be someone overlooking, but they're not really doing much but being a listening ear. And two, as far as people maybe falling back into whatever they were trying to come out of, that happens. But there are cases where people say, hey, I'm not going to do this. I need to change my life. And whatever they need to hold on to keep them on track, they do it. I have two friends also who were former drug addicts, and they found God. They used God to get them through there. And both of them have been going strong ever since. Even when life is down, they go back to God. They go back into the word. So it just depends on what you choose to be your coping mechanism. I think last week we talked about it. I'm the only one on the team that has done counseling. And like I said, for me, it's going to be a lifelong choice because I always get something out of counseling. And I know when I'm at a point where I hit a wall where I just can't seem to get through, those are my signals. Hey, maybe you should go talk to somebody. And that works for me. Everybody is different, but I do agree with what you said about the cost of like seeing counselors. And sometimes people who may say, I'm going to do it, they are turned off because of the cost of having sessions. But a lot of therapists do have a sliding scale. So like if you're unemployed or from low income, they'll base it off of whatever you tell them your income is. Because after a while, we see that mental health is a real thing. So now everyone's goal is to try to get somebody help if they can. And if I'm a counselor and I see that you really need to talk to someone because you're going through some real stuff, if I'm saying, no, I can't see you because you don't have the money, then shame on me because I'm not doing what I claim I started this to do. Because now I'm working on money versus working to help. And if you go into something, same as doctors, if you go in it to get that check and not go in it to heal someone or save someone's life, then F you, because you are nothing. Like if you're in it for a check and not in it to help, then you're wasting my time and you're wasting a lot of people's time because I don't feel like my health or my well-being is number one priority for you.
And again, and this is why a lot of people have lost faith in doctors, or psychiatrists or whatever, because it's all about the money. Even politicians, it used to be about the people. It used to be.
And
but it's about money.
After this political year, it's gonna be a lot of people in therapy. So whatever means you have to go to get your therapy, go ahead. And like I said, so many people,
necessary.
They don't use traditional therapy. Some people talk to life coaches. Some people go and do things like yoga, meditation, whatever is going to heal you or seems to help you do it.
Yeah. And so it's kind of time for us to close out. But and so I guess I'll go first in dealing with my closing thoughts. I think that at some point we're gonna have to become our own doctors and our own therapists again, especially dealing with a Trump administration, because he's talking about taking everything away, just about healthcare, everything. Education. We're gonna have to go back to basics, how it used to be. where we taught our own children. When our children were sick, we were the doctors. You know, we were the psychiatrists. You know, and I believe that's on the horizon for us as a nation. You know, and so I believe that these kind of conversations help. And I do believe, based on taking this auditing class, that talking about it, and then when we talk about NA and AA and how that's what they do as a point of cure. Now keep in mind that I don't believe that just talking about things for a person that's schizophrenic or a person that's been diagnosed bipolar, this or something to that effect. Those people need professional therapy and counseling and things of that nature. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the average Joe Blow, Jane, and I hate to use those terms because that's white people stuff, but the average person that has experienced what we were talking about earlier, emotional trauma and stress and that stuff, and it's been piling up for years and years and years. These are the people that I feel that we can help each other, because all of us have experienced this in some way or another. So if I have a friend that I trust, then I can sit down with my friend and say, hey man, tell me about it. You have a friend. Everybody has somebody that they trust, that they can sit down, and then after them, then they do you. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying that this is kind of the mindset that I think we should be moving into, you know, because of how healthcare is not really what it should be and what it used to be. That's my closing thoughts.
Okay, my closing thought is like you say, we're moving into that because of this, you know, the governmental things and all the stuff that's happening. Now, I call that a God thing, where we see things looking bad, like they look bad to us, like we're about to go through some stuff. I think that is God moving us into a place to let us know, because we get complacent and think that everything's just going to be, you know, falling in place for us, that we got to do something. And I do agree that we, and when I say we as Black people in our communities got to do something instead of keep talking about what we're going to do. We got to do something to help each other to be the best we can be, because like you say, if the education is taken away, healthcare is taken away, all the, you know, helping out with things, it would just be ignorant of us to continue in the way we're going. If we can't stop and love each other and bring something back to our communities, then we're kind of a joke too. So that's my closing thought. Don't want to be a joke.
Well, for me, my closing thought, like I said, I think I said it last week too. I think whatever you need to do to get the help you need to improve yourself, help yourself, do it. If you seek counseling, an auditor, if you want to do yoga, meditation, whatever you need to do it, because it's beneficial. Mental health is holistic. It's your body talking to you just through a whole different system. And believe it or not, mental health, if you go so long with all of this trauma, it turns into something physical, and it affects you physically. I am proof of that. When I was 45 and suffered that mini stroke, it was due to high blood pressure and anxiety. Okay. Both of them things were taken over, and they were doing more to me than I knew. So that was me not taking care of that anxiety and letting it build up and go in and, you know, tag team with my high blood pressure and cause a mini stroke for me. So I can tell you TIAs are no fun, but it did tell me something. I didn't want the next event to be a major stroke. So I knew I got to stay on top of this. I have to stay on top of that. Sometimes when we go through things, if we don't learn from them, they're going to affect affect us and make us take notice. So stay on top of it. If you, like I said, do what you need to do. Journal, draw, whatever you need to do, do it. Just don't sit around harboring in some stuff that you can't get out of. And that's my most important.
Hey, I thank you guys for being on. You know, I love this show today. You know, I really think that there were people that were helped by this. Well, maybe if not even helped, their eyes were opened to some possibilities of how they can be helped based on what they may be going through. Next week, I would like, because when we were talking, especially when you were talking, Vanessa, it came to my mind that some of the things that we are dealing with, we talked about high blood pressure and the diabetes, you had a slight mini stroke, things of this nature. I want to talk about psychosomatic illnesses, you know, and for people that may not know what psychosomatic is, somebody just, who's this? Oh, Kim. Hey, Kim, I didn't know you was on there.
Oh, hey, Kim.
All right. But for people who may not know what psychosomatic is, that's when you can psych yourself out to feel sick. You know, you can have high blood pressure, but it's not really high blood pressure. It's something that you've experienced in your life. Just like last week when y'all seen that video and you seen the guy that was trying to get his wife's attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying, and he all of a sudden he got sick because his grandmother would always give him attention and pay close attention to him. He was sick. And so because he wanted his wife's attention, all of a sudden he psyched himself out to be sick. You see what I'm saying? That's psychosomatic illnesses. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we're going to do some research on that, and we're going to come back next week and talk about psychosomatic illnesses and see if we can really crack the surface on how we can probably more so understand what that is and then come up with some kind of solution as to what we can be done to help us to overcome these kind of challenges. All right. So thank you guys for being on. I'll see y'all next Thursday at 8 p.m. And until then, continue to think for a change, all right?
Peace.
We out.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Until then, strive for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.